You can go night night. What's going on? It's your girl Fathom DJ Live and Direct here in the city of ATL. We need to have this conversation. You're an amazing DJ, musician, singer, songwriter, influencer. All those things that create these streams of income. You curate the most fabulous concept for an event. You get the great imaging, you get the great design, graphics, things rolling. You're excited. You go to the marketplaces, electronic, of course, all the social media platforms, create your Eventbrite, create your Facebook invites. You know, you hit the inboxes and DMs. Some people might find it annoying. Nonetheless, you spread the word about your events. Hell, you're making video. You might be making video right now. I don't know. Anyway, you do all this in line with the idea that you're excited to bring your people to a venue to have a good time. You're a DJ, specifically. You have amazing music. You're ready to rock. You're professional. Either the equipment in the venue is standard, so all you have to do is worry about bringing all of your computer and your hard drive and your headphones and getting set up, maybe a laptop stand, and playing those tunes. You invited all your people. Okay, maybe the first event wasn't that great. You know, it's the first one. You know, the algorithms, whatever those things is, they're not working for you yet. But you created a trail and you piqued people's interest. You throw the second one. Second one, damn. Go back to the market. Drum up more energy. Tweak the images. Maybe you change the date. I don't know. You throw it, people don't show up. You reevaluate. Sit back. Man, my people said they were going to come through. I don't understand what the problem is. What am I doing wrong? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about this. You've done all the things that you're supposed to do as a creator to encourage patronizing a venue. Maybe we need to have a conversation about the venues. Because at the end of the day, I think it's one of the things that we don't necessarily dissect when we're creating these events. Have you been to the space? Have you had food, drink, and enjoyed the space before you pledge to bring all your people to the space? One of the things I know that has differentiated in terms of my doing as a DJ, event curator, music director, and all those things is the fact that I am more interested in creating an experience now. Now, of course, there's an experience in the clubs and, lounges and things of that nature anyway. But what are you doing that sets you apart from everyone else, in addition to bringing that full-fledged experience that means people will come out of their homes? You got food at home, hopefully. You may have cocktail kits at home, hopefully. You may have a dope man cave or a rec room or a full-fledged coach house that you can throw events at. People love your space. What would make you want to come out to support our events if you got the dopeness at the space? You might be bored. You may not want to cook. You may not want to do any of those things. You want to go out. You want to spend money. We need it as DJs and entertainers because the budget is based on the idea that you're coming into the space and drinking and eating. Because that's the bottom line. If you're drinking and eating in the space, the hope is that the owners see a budget to hire talent to generate more people coming in, eating and drinking in the space. But we got to have a conversation about the operations and the hospitality of the spaces so that when people come in the door, they get amazing, beautiful hosts or hosts to greet them. That when they're taken to these potentially reserved spaces or open tables, that the person who is going to handle their food and drink and handle their experience more than you may be standing over DJing or singing those songs would even be able to address. You have to consider staff. You have to consider the staff. I'd like to say decor. I most certainly like to add the food and beverage programs because, okay, so you get a space that's amazing. The decor is fabulous. The sound system in the space is amazing. But the attitude and the temperature of the vibe of the room from an operation standpoint might suck, which means your people come in and they're set to have a good time, but the person who greeted them at the door and the person who is handling their food and bringing out their food is not so nice and warm. So, and they took it for the team. They're like, oh, maybe she's having a bad day. We're here. But if you don't buy a second round or you don't add options, if you're not suggested to do so, then that means that there's a cap that's being put on the numbers. And maybe for the sake of the standpoint, you haven't even considered all of these things while you just want to come in and DJ or sing songs and things of that nature. But if the numbers at the end of the night don't add up to marvelous, spectacular, based on you being added to the night, you're not coming back. Unless you're charging at the door and they just, whatever they make off of you is just extra gravy. So in essence, you might want to go into these spaces and check out the hospitality before you decide to throw events there. And wait, because you might be just the fabulous, most wonderful, popular DJ, band member, musician, guitarist, singer, songwriter ever. When you go to these venues, they're going to treat you amazingly anyway. Oh, that's dude. Everybody comes over to the table. They shelling out appetizers and drinks and stuff. You get your bill. It's like 30% less than you anticipated because they know you. Maybe you want to send in one of your friends who's an average dude with 20 followers on Instagram to experience the hospitality of that venue so that you can make sure that you don't get railroaded in a space that does not produce the numbers that will retain your services. Now, a one-off is one thing. Okay, cool. It's a new spot. We're going to go through and kick it. If you decide that you're going to anchor down your events and do a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, you're re-inviting your people to continue to patronize that space. It means that you have to care about the hospitality. You have to care about the service. You have to care about the food and beverage programs. You have to care about the price point. You have to care about the location because all of these things add up to your people coming and wanting to come back or your people not coming or not coming back. I don't know if that's something that a lot of us think about. You're just like, I just want to play. I just want to get to the point where, people will have some space to come and patronize me. I'm from Chicago. We have tons of amazing DJs that play in hole in the walls. The one thing that I can say about the hole in the wall, it's not my favorite space. I'm not saying, dive bars are the lick for a reason. The hole in the walls don't necessarily give me that background that says fly, that people are going to come in and take tons of photos, that you feel like, dressing up a little more to go into. If people are going to come out of the house, the hope is that they're interested in having an experience that is so different than them being at home. That's why some of us kind of want to veer away from dive bars and situations like that. And then there's the idea that if the location is amazing, then it's more productive. People are walking in around the place, down the street from the place. That means that they're more likely to stop in because it's a familiar area. Of course, parking is something that you have to consider. There are a lot of things that one may need to consider outside of the fact that they booked me to play. Because In essence, what we're partaking in is group economics. If the DJ is likable in the venue, if the staff likes the DJ and the music, then the staff will hopefully tell their friends that they need to come through. It's a vibe on the particular night that you work. You got to hope and pray that the venue likes your marketing efforts so that they want to either post the imaging, video, and content to help parlay it. If they don't want to post it on a page, the hope is that they post it in stories or somewhere where people will know that you're doing it, so that everybody is cohesive in the effort to garner the interest of people to patronize. We have to talk about it. We do, because I'm not going to tell you, but we have to talk about it. We have to talk about how to win this game, because it's not even really about your music in the space of the fact that if you're a DJ, there are tons of other DJs who can acquire these files that you're playing and play the exact same set. Hell, some people might steal your mix and just play that. We don't know. But if you have a marketing concept and a campaign and a strategy that says that, you're cool, people should want to come and support you, then you want to make sure the space that they're coming to support you at is dope enough to retain their desire to be there, to retain their attention, to be as detailed enough to be able to provide the experience. Because in my opinion, and I prefer restaurants and lounges to work at over clubs, would be food, beverage program, decor, and most certainly sound system, so that it provides that. And then if I had to add the fifth is the location and the size of the space. If you got a patio or some kind of outdoor addition to the space, it makes it even more palatable, because people can see that folks are flocking and hanging around, and that'll draw more people into the space. In addition to the fact that, regardless to what people think, we're still faced with the idea of, having circulation and ventilation and things of that nature for folks who are concerned about these. I don't even want to say the C word. I don't even want to say it. But that's the point. The point is, you have a little more to be concerned about if you're trying to throw and curate successful events than your DJ playlist and having your name right on the flyer. Like, that's kind of 1990s, to be honest with you. Like, this is 2022. The deal is to step up your game and your efforts, because in essence, they're hiring you to help them market. They're hiring you to help them advertise. If you are not an advertising guru or a mogul at the idea of envisioning these concepts and events, then you most certainly should be collaborating with somebody who has the graphic tenacity, who has the technological tenacity to be able to forge forth and put out a feverish campaign to garner the interest, so that you can have successful events and have everyone patronize it. And that's just one level, because we could talk about photography and videography and, all of those things that need to be added in order to get the wheels turning so people will continue to support your efforts. Throwing parties is completely different. You could take the slow route, just show up, throw the party, and hope that everybody goes out and tells their friends to show back up. Or you can take what is considered the newer route and put yourself in a better position before you leave the house. And that is the reason why we're doing all the things we are doing. Live and direct from the city of ATL, Fathom DJ, one time for your mind. You can find me in your World Wide Web sphere at findingfathomdj.com. You most certainly can find me at Fathom DJ Entities LLC. Of course, YouTube, LinkedIn, TrackSource, Beatport, Amazon, IG, TikTok. I ain't ticking or talking. Yeah. Let's continue to have these conversations. You can subscribe to the channel. You can like the channel. You can comment below if you have ideas and suggestions. I most certainly am open to collaborating with those who are interested in continuing to create experiences where people can come and experience great music in great venues with great hospitality in great to decent locations, because you can't assume. Anyway, cosmic kisses to your day. Space.